And starting it off with a yawn.
Is that all I know? How you doing, everybody?
We caught that.
Sorry, I was yawning. I'll tell you, the air quality here in Boston. Welcome to another question and answer, Upholstery on Broadway. Thank you for tuning in, Broadway Upholstery School on the YouTube. But very poor quality air today, and I think it's affecting me greatly. We're actually smelling and seeing smoke from the California fires out here today. And our hearts go out to everybody in California who are suffering through that. I mean, the air quality out there, if it's bad here, you can imagine what it's like out there, Patrick, huh?
Right. So that's your excuse for the yawn.
That's my excuse for the yawn, right? We were just talking about that. So, really exciting about the 15,000, which I mentioned, subscribers I mentioned last week.
Oh, where's Jimmy then?
Jimmy is on vacation, parts unknown. We think he might be visiting a coconut factory maybe in Hawaii. What do you think, Pat?
I was going to say Bigfoot. Cause
is he looking for
Maine.
Bigfoot? You ever notice those shows? They keep looking for him, but they never find him.
He's in Bigfoot country.
He is. I hope everything's going to be okay and he's not abducted by one of those things. What?
That's why we're starting early today, because no Jimmy.
Well, I would hope if he did catch a Bigfoot, I'd ask him for a shave so he could bring some of that hair back so he could stuff his chair with Bigfoot hair. What do you think, Brad? That would be a very rare batting, wouldn't it?
A little disturbing.
It's okay to use your imagination. But let's get right back. Oh, I wanted to mention, you see a chair up here. We promised A to Z Upholstery on YouTube. This is going to be it. But our first class is going to be up really quickly because we're combining, I'm measuring it, and I'm going to, if I get to it, I'm going to show you how I'm going to measure this for you guys on the live show if I have time. But the first class, which will probably be up soon, I'd say within 2 weeks, because we're going to show Jimmy following up with measuring it and asking the questions. So we're comparing what the difference is between me explaining it and with Jimmy actually doing it and asking the questions along the way, which we believe the online classes are terrific that way. And that's what we hear from you guys too. So, but I think it will be a good demonstration of that. So that's something new. We hope it doesn't backfire, right, Patrick?
I know. But we promised it, so.
So is that all the business did I have? I think the Facebook continues. The Facebook page, we continue to get, I think, on average 2 or 3 people. I think on average to join the Facebook page, and that's great, and we love that. It's free. So is the YouTube. So if anybody out there can't afford the online classes or tools or anything. We have a video showing that you can use home tools to a certain point. So everything is free, really, unless you really want to up your skills and your tools. And we have the resources for that. So don't forget to check out our store at Upholstery on Broadway and the website.
Well, Bernice's new class.
Bernice's new class. Patrick did a great thumbnail on that, and Bernice was so impressed.
Well, it's called Club Chair.
Yeah, but it looks like she's in outer space, Pat.
It's a club.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like she's. Who's that guy that billionaire that just went up in outer space? Jeff Bozo or something?
I have no idea.
That's not his name, I guess. I think he should have taken the money and invested in a new living room set for me to upholster, maybe. I don't know. But anyhow, the first is from Randy, and Randy's been a great supporter, and he's an upholsterer, we know that, and he's congratulated us on the 15,000 subscribers. He says, good job. Must be a good feeling to know that many people are interested in what you do. And he says, keep it up. That encouragement, believe me, Randy, is needed. And I appreciate that. And yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that we're able to show our skill. And I don't hold anything back. I really, especially on the online classes, I think that you guys are seeing as much as I know. And 500, Patrick, videos or close to it.
Yeah. I saw you posted that. You're overshooting a little bit.
Am I?
Yeah, closer to 300.
Oh, okay. We tend to exaggerate.
But a lot of kind words about that, so thank you for the support.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
There's so many comments, I couldn't post all of them, show them right here, because they're all just really nice comments.
But don't forget, it's a team effort. I could never have done this alone. I think of my mentors who shared their knowledge with me one-on-one, and this would have been probably the same. I might have been able to teach one or two people in my life. I mean, I did teach live classes, but I'm talking about like a full apprenticeship person like I happened to be, which I was happy to be. It's just that the reach is incredible, that we've reached so many people. And, the 15,000 is great, but, so many other people have viewed the YouTube channel too. And a lot of people don't sign up, so I would encourage you to subscribe, please, because that's one way we gauge our success and what we're doing, and it gives us the encouragement. So Daniel says, sweet, you guys earned it. You certainly did. Let's see. I think I wanted to make a comment about what Daniel said, too, about earning it and about the YouTube channel. I mean, I think that if Patrick and I and Michaela put our heads together, we could come up with a YouTube channel that's sensational like some of the other ones that I've seen. And we could probably get all kinds of hits and everything else. I've seen them. I've seen these sensational, shows and things like that, where they get a lot of hits or they go viral or anything. But I think that the thing about the hard work, and you guys see it, there's hard work put into this, and there's a lot of heart and effort. I mean, we are really we have a focused group of people that do-it-yourselfers usually. Some people watch for entertainment values, especially when Jimmy's on, not so much when I'm by myself. But no, I don't think there are a lot of people like that. But you see my point. It is hard work. It's a lot of labor. There's a huge amount of work that goes behind it, which these two guys get all the credit for, the editing and the encouragement that they give me, which is really important. And the push. They're young, so they push me. I think I probably would rest, as they say, on your laurels. You've heard that expression before. You can easily do that. But they've pushed me into this younger way of doing things, which I don't regret. I think it's hard work, but I like doing it. So, by the way, question and answer live. If anybody has questions or comments, please feel free. Number 3 is the repair manufactured furniture yourself. And this is from Fronte. I just replaced my sofa with an 8-way hand tie because my suede sofa failed me. I wish I have seen this first. So I think what he's saying is he threw that suede sofa away. He replaced it. What a shame, because that furniture manufacturing kit is, I don't know what the price is on that, Patrick, but it would be a fraction of the cost of getting a new sofa, and it would save the landfill, which is another motivation that I have for these kits that we have on Upholstery on Broadway that you guys should check out. And they're designed for the average homeowner, to be able to work with, and you don't have to go crazy buying tools. I think you could do it with tools that you have at home, as long as you just have the supplies. But I think any time that we could save a sofa from the landfill is a good day, right? He also says on another video, stuffing a cushion cheaply. Do you have a video on how to make the envelopes? Would you recommend putting in a foam insert wrapped by feathers and down? I want a firmer feel and something that stays up instead of drooping. Well, this is a loaded question. First of all, the best cushioning, you're talking seat and back cushions. Seat is the best cushion, which we have available, you guys, by the way, is a spring and down. I do not like a foam and down cushion. I've seen those bottom out too easily, and they don't perform well because of the foam. Even if it's a good foam, they tend to bottom out a little bit. Because what you have to remember, there's more in there than just foam. There's Dacron, sometimes cotton, sometimes muslin in the foam. So that will tend to, all those components together, even if you use a good polyurethane, they tend to bottom out a little bit. The spring units are the best. And believe it or not, guys, they're about the same cost. I don't even offer the foam and down. So he's asking just to put foam in there and everything else. You don't want to do that. And the envelopes are made channeled. They're channeled, and they're made with special machine. You could probably duplicate this if you wanted to at home. But the key would be what a mess. First of all, would be downproof ticking, and you can sew your channels first, the top and bottom, and fill it, and then you have to put your boxing on. You have to pin it all down, and I'm talking about a lot of feathering. So the machines, it's kind of like a closed process where they don't have a lot of feathers floating around when they make it. So these are made. I don't have that machine capability where I am, but I suppose you could do a handmade. You could hand make it, but they aren't as easy as you think they are. Now, in back cushions are 50-50 down feather, no spring, no foam. That's the proper back cushion. I recommend that. But really, there's very few people who know how to make a proper cushion out of down and feather, whether it be a back or a seat. Keep that in mind. Even the so-called professionals miss out a little bit. I think we happen to make, in this country, we make the best cushioning possible anywhere. So the next, we have a lot of comments on the 15,000. 15,000 is a big number, isn't it, Patrick, on YouTube?
Yeah, 20 will be even better.
So what does it mean? What do we get?
Don't get anything till 100,000.
Oh, you're kidding. We got something at 10. We got a T-shirt, didn't we, or something?
No, nothing. Not
Nothing.
till 100,000.
100,000. Oh, you guys better subscribe now. Anybody? Julie, she says congratulations. That's great. 1 thumbs up. And Janine, again, Janine's one of our first supporters, and we appreciate her very much. She says very well deserved. So she's picking up on the fact that 15,000 for what we do, I think, for the type of service that we're offering is a lot, and I really appreciate it. That's how I look at it. Like I said, Patrick, you weren't here when I was talking about, I think that if us three put our creative juices together, we could do a channel on YouTube and come up with 100,000 subscribers probably in a year. But well, I don't know. The difference is, I mean, we could be sensational. I mean, we were creative enough to do that. But I think that 15,000 is such a solid number, don't you? I
mean, we only just started like this recently. I consider it because 2011 we started, but that wasn't where we are.
We
now.
never even. We weren't serious back then, right?
No, we were just kind of posting. Now we're really catching on.
So this is from PC. Congrats! So happy to see the channel growing, and somebody also liked that. 2 people liked that. And then Agatha says, great job. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of kind words.
Yeah, this is great. So now we're on to Janine. This is, Patrick had his thumbnails, I think, are really cool. I don't know where he gets these ideas. This is the creative part of Patrick, I guess. And I know that this helps people, this helps views, if not subscribers, when the thumbnails are done in a way that draw people in, and then they watch. But he's got this Turkish, and the name of this this was his idea. I didn't know he was doing this. Turkish Chair Autopsy.
Let's not switch it up.
How to deconstruct and measure. And he's got a picture of a Turkish flag, which is kind of nice. And Janine says, amazing chair. Can't wait until you get further into this chair. I kind of hope you have to take it back to the frame so I can see it from the beginning. Sorry, I know you don't, Kevin. You betcha. That was a hard chair. I don't think we're going to be able to do an A to Z on that chair because customer's waiting. When a customer's waiting, this one here is a little different. This is a customer's chair, but I could put it on slow track. She's not in as much of a hurry, so I'd be able to offer that. So I have to kind of pick and choose which chairs get the A and Z, right, Patrick? A to Z.
Yeah. This was a good one, so it works out good.
And then to put a little plug into Bernice's class, that nice thumbnail that Patrick's got with her sitting on a chair. It looks like to me she's in outer space. I don't know, maybe you didn't intend that, Patrick. But that's okay. Outer space has been getting a lot of publicity lately. And we have nothing against outer space, right, Patrick?
No, we should go up there and upholster.
New class, the club chair slipcover.
Which is first lessons today.
Oh, is it up, Patrick?
Yes.
The first lesson's up.
Planning.
Planning.
Oh, planning. She
Janine,
did a lot of measuring and then.
Does this mean Janine's already seen this? Let me read this through.
Oh, she commented a few days early, but I'm sure she was going to see it if she hadn't seen it yet.
Because she's a subscriber, and just to remind people, Janine, don't take it from me. Janine says, well, I'll read it because she says it right here. She says, excellent, going over to the online classroom now to watch the first episode, and in parentheses, she says, the yearly subscription is such a great value. There you go, Patrick. That's not me saying it. That's Janine, who's been a subscriber right from the very beginning, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Peggy, she says, Turkish Chair Autopsy. So glad to see this video. I recently upholstered a chair that had many similar characteristics, although it had a channel back. I could find no book or video to guide me through the process, and I searched for months. Boy, was it a challenge. The channels were threaded and pulled like drawstrings. There was no backing because it was gathered. There was a lot of hand stitching as well. It did have a wood frame, however, so I could staple. I'm not sure I would have proceeded with the metal frame. It does indeed cup around, so I have been enjoying it as a reading chair. Very interesting project. So I bet you she put 100 hours into that chair that she just described. This Turkish chair is going to be a lot. I'm not sure it's 100 hours, but it will be a lot for me. Very daunting. And the last is how to upholster outside arm of a sofa. And this is from Jeff. These are very kind words from him. I enjoy your videos. I love the trimming of the padding. It was so exact. I just pulling some off to make it line up. That shows a professional at work, knowing and understanding the materials. I worked with an upholsterer nearly 45 years ago. He was old school. His name was Dennis. Now I'm an old guy myself. I'm building a place to upholster some furniture, adding a dimension to our workshop. Yes, sir. You're a great teacher. I see you do things Dennis did years ago. Thanks for taking the time to make and share these videos. Well, thank you. I enjoy teaching as it comes across, you guys. I really do. Sometimes it could be tiring, but you know what? That's just part of the deal, right? I'm going to try to do something before. Is there any questions and answers yet, Patrick?
No, Randy checked in. He was, I think he's maybe away or something, but he checked stuff by really quick.
That's good. You know, we are a little early because Jimmy isn't here and he wasn't doing his class.
We actually forgot until last second.
Yeah.
That's why I posted 4, and I said, wait a minute, he's not coming in. We might as well do it sooner.
I actually never have done this before. I wanted to try something new on the live question and answer. I'm going to go over some of my work orders that I have, and I'm not mentioning names or anything, but I just wanted to go through some of the descriptions of some of the work I got coming up. Some of it you may see on a YouTube, or some of it from an A to Z, who knows. This first one is a side chair. I have no pictures here, you guys. I just wanted, I guess for all of you guys who are starting an upholstery shop, this is really the most important thing you can do, which is to make sure you have a work order handwritten, you guys. Don't take the time to type it out or have a notepad. Have yourself an invoice right away, a hard copy. You could do that later. But when you're talking to the customer, make sure that you have your pen in hand and you have your invoice, your handwritten invoice ready to go, and you can read your own notes. So important. So many things get lost. I can't tell you. I won't mention the company here in the Boston area that was selling fabrics and supplies, decided to go into upholstery, and everyone thought they were crazy when they did it. But upholstery, there was such a big place to begin with. When they took upholstery, everybody brought their stuff to them. And they also had a very large room full of mistakes that happened because the person writing the order, not saying anything against their intelligence or anything, but they weren't upholsterers, they were salespeople. So a lot of the information never got down. Never got down on that paper, and that was the main problem. So it's so important. If you're going to do this, communication is so important, you guys, really. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to go through these if I got time. So this is a customer. She's got one side chair. I got the price. Use 1-inch foam to soften seat, a customer's own material. I already had to follow up on this because as a customer's own material, there was a reversible segment to this that she didn't tell me when we were talking. Excuse me. So I actually had to follow up on this, which surprised me because I didn't write it down. But I wasn't going to do the chair without asking her. That's the point. So already in my first invoice I see, I forgot to write down a very major part of it. So even I sometimes will forget or leave something out that has to be followed up on. The point is I followed up on it and now I know. So that's one. Then we have a rocker with the loose seat and back cushions to reuse the foam, and the amount of fabric is 3 yards. Everything's pretty usually I'll say no changes in the style. That's also very important. Some people might say, for instance, you're talking to somebody, it has welting, for instance, and you're writing down, and she says, and I don't want any welting, and then you keep writing, and all of a sudden you forget to write that down. You go over the order with the person. That's why you reread it. Really, I don't make too many mistakes when it comes to instructions. because I learned my lesson from that other store, right? I used to know the upholsterer that they hired 2 upholsterers just to fix the problems that came back. Can you believe that? You know, you don't want that. That's talk about affecting your bottom line, right? And then now we have, sometimes, this was an interesting piece. This customer didn't know what she had. She brought in to me a Stickley drop-in unit. And so this was one of the original Stickleys. And if you guys know what a Stickley is, it's a really old company, usually oak wood frame. You guys can look it up. The point is, the only thing I can reuse on this are the springs, which are attached to the frame, which were still good, and the frame. Everything else, no good. So we had a discussion about that. She wanted me to take the springs out. No. Keep the old springs in there. It's part of the whole value of that piece of furniture. So that's another one. See, you're getting the idea. There's a lot you need to discuss with your client. Then you get into the variables with the fabrics. That's a whole nother thing, which I'm not going to get into right now. Then I have 6 slip seats. Now this is interesting, you guys. So they just bring me the slip seats, no frame. And so they actually like the fabric. I do have a fabric sample on this one. They like the diamond fabric that we had in stock, which they purchased. But I noticed that the slip seats that they had were drop-in slip seats. They didn't sit on top. And so one of the questions I said, I'm looking at the slip seat, and I said, these must be very old. Yes, how did you know that? I said, because they drop into the frame. What do you mean they drop into the frame? They go right inside tight into the frame. Oh yeah, very tight into the frame. I said, well, that's a really good thing to know, because if you're going to be upholstering slip seats, sometimes you take the padding over the frame and then they don't fit back in the seat. So you really have to be on the ball, you guys. I mean, for you guys beginning, you might want to see the frame. You might want to see the chair. I didn't see the chair, I just saw the slip seats. So, been around a long time. I picked these things up. So maybe we could continue this segment. I think this is going to be a good segment for people who are just starting out in a career. Excuse me. That smoke, seriously, excuse me for a second, because the smoke is unbelievable here. I can even taste it inside here. So let's go. This is kind of fun. If you guys enjoy this, let me know, especially you guys who are starting up an upholstery shop. So here we have one fully upholstered chair. Sometimes I'll add fully upholstered chair because some pieces are bigger and there's more upholstery on it, like this one. This would be considered a fully upholstered chair. Substantial meaning. And sometimes too in the wording, it could prepare people for the price of what something's going to cost too. Not that I'm not doing anything deceitful, but I mean, if you just said one upholstered chair and then gave them the price. When you say one fully upholstered chair, because really when you look at this, if I get a chance to measure this, you'll see just how many parts of this, how many components there are to a fully upholstered chair. And then I have no changes, and then I have keep old cushions. This is all important for the bottom line too. If people don't need new foam in Dacron, don't sell it to them, you might lose the job. Or if people are hemming and hawing over a cost, you could pull back a new cushioning and say, you don't really need new cushions, things like that. You want to try to help your client as much as you can. Yardages are a whole different thing. You want to try to keep your yardages down. You don't want to be overestimating yardage. That's a waste, first of all, but that could affect a sale if you really add on yardage that's not needed. And then we have one love seat, 7 yards, no changes. It's pretty straightforward. This is an interesting job. So, customer service, right, guys? I had a client. I did some chairs. This was all done through texting, which I don't recommend. Texting is a good first introduction to a price and what you're going to do, but after that, it has to be follow-up, in-person follow-up. So in this case, the instructions on the text were clear to me, but not clear to the customer. She thought I was going to add a lot of padding or more padding to the dining room chairs, which that's not what the texting said, but that's her interpretation. So they came out. She wasn't happy, so wasn't buying any excuse. And I went that route. And I said, this isn't what we talked about, but she wasn't, budging on it. So I said, I tell you what we'll do them all over again. But this time, what we're going to do is take one, and so what I have down here is a mock-up, one dining room chair mock-up with 1-inch foam extra on cotton and muslin. So I'm not going to do all 6. So I'm going to do one, have her come in, take the chair home, make sure she's happy, and then do all of them at my cost, and that's customer service, you guys. I'll tell you, we're living in an age where I have never worked harder to maintain as best reputation and in fairness as I possibly can, because the social, the age that we live in where reviews can really hurt you. I mean, I'm only human. I get a couple of bad reviews. They're fine. But I'm trying my hardest. I've never worked harder to try to make people happy, and that's a good example right there. I'm really going the extra mile there, and not being confrontational, angry about it. Just pull up the big boy pants and do it. Because I have found that when you have a mistake, either it's your customer or you, and you take care of it, respond to it, you're going to get more good karma over that, and maybe even a great review. I've had people comment, like in the past, this happened, but he took care of it, and he was a gentleman, blah, 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 the whole time. That, sometimes those reviews go further than if everything went great, which most jobs do. So, business end of things, right, you guys? If you're going to be a grouch in this business, you're going to have a closed workshop and deal just with designers, architects, or the trades, because customer service is such an essential part to any small business, but especially this. All right, let me go on to the next one here. Then we have a job. This is interesting. It's a young couple in the town over from me. They had this beautiful antique sofa, and I was so happy that the gentleman said that he has a friend that will take the sofa to me. And, at 63, it's getting a little tough. Patrick and I picked up a sofa that survived the San Francisco earthquake the other day. And that thing probably weighed, how much do you think that weighed, Patrick?
I don't know, but it was pretty decent.
I'd say 300 pounds, easy.
Wow.
300. And it was one of the heaviest sofas that I have lifted. 2 grown men who own it couldn't lift one end. Patrick and I went in and took it out of, I'd call that a first floor, Patrick, with those stairs that we had to go up, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they were tough, but luckily it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Over the spiral staircase.
You could see why it survived the San Francisco earthquake, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to have that definitely on a YouTube video, Patrick.
Yeah, I got to do something with it. We got all these other famous pieces, like John Belushi's sofa, so we got the earthquake sofa.
Yeah. So how much time have we taken up so far, Patrick?
I think you should work on the chair.
Okay. I didn't get halfway through these. I think if people like what I was doing there, let me know. I have a lot more. Not only do I have my current orders, but I have a pile of past orders like this, and they're all different. So if you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about the instruction end of things, not pricing, I wasn't mentioning pricing. We have a video about pricing, don't we, Patrick?
Yeah, I was going to say we could do a follow-up to that.
If people like it, we'll include in the question and answer. Jimmy not being here, I thought we needed a fill-in,
Yeah, that's good. We can do a follow-up on another YouTube video about the business.
Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is just measure up the body on this. I'll get rid of these 2 cushions. Kind of a preview for that first class that Jimmy's going to be doing.
And by class, you mean you should clarify. It's going to be YouTube.
The YouTube, yeah. We promised more content on the YouTube, you guys. Because we've been so busy with everything else, kind of dropped the ball, right, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing people that. We haven't even shown anybody the remodel.
Yeah.
Down in Arlington.
Yeah. So I want to show you what I've got on the body. I've got a top seat, front seat, deck, which I've bracketed together because they're all going to be sewn in one piece. We got inside arm, we got arms, inside back, outside arms, outside back, front panels, 2 of those, right? And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to lift this up to show you the top of the seat, what I mean by the top of the seat, right? So just to give you a little bit more description, we're gonna call it a top seat, but when we label it, we're also gonna mark front on our fabric, on the back side of our fabric, to indicate direction. So important, right? Everything has direction. Up, and look, up this way, right? Up this way. Up. This is the top, and this is the top here. Notice how when it comes this way, it's actually upside down, but do not take your fabric and run it the other way to try to match that, because then all your skirts are mismatched to the front. Do you understand? Never do that. Always pick a top and stick with it, right? Top, top, extends to everything. Top, everything gets a top. Everything's going in the same direction. Don't get fooled by where it goes on the piece of furniture. A lot of people get mixed up like that. Top, direction, direction, right? All right. So let's start with that. Let's just turn this up there. I'm going to go side to side and then front to back. Do front to back first. 7 inches plus 2. You can do like 2 inches bigger here, 9 inches, because it's a sewn piece. You'll hear me talk. 3 inches is the standard for unsewn pieces. 28 plus 2 is 30, side to side. Notice how, get used to saying that to yourself, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, because you'd be surprised. I can speak for myself. By the time I say up and down here, they come over here, like I forget. So what I do is, you'll hear me say that. I'll do it here, watch. Let's do up and down on the front seat, 11 inches, up and down on the front seat, 11 inches. That's the plus 2. Side to side, the front seat, 40, plus 2, 42, side to side. Now these measurements seem obvious, right? But some measurements are a little closer. They're more like a square. So if you mix up your measurements, that could be a problem. You could run out of fabric. That's why this is an important part of upholstering, right? Measuring. Deck, front to back, not top and bottom, because it's sitting flat, right? 25 plus 3, 28. Deck, 28, front to back, front to back. Now, deck, side to side. 30 plus 3, 33. Inside arm, you only need to measure one inside arm to get the other one, right? Up and down, inside arm. Up and down, inside arm, 25 plus 3. Up and down, inside arm, 28. Side to side. Inside arm, side to side. 30 plus 3, 33. Remember, right? When Jimmy's in here measuring this on our first class, you guys should wait for that. I'm going to let him. He should know enough, right? See how this inside arm goes all the way back here, and it comes there to there plus 3 inches, halfway down underneath here. We'll see how good he is. You know, we're going to test Jimmy live. Well, that wouldn't be live, would it? We wouldn't do that to him, would we?
I think he'd pass the test.
He would. He's a good sport, too, you guys must know. Jimmy is a very good sport. And if he's watching from Maine, hi, Jim. Is he on there, Patrick?
I don't think so. I mean, he's in a service, probably in some cabin somewhere.
Sure. Thanks, Jimmy.
I think he's in the fancy part of it.
He should have made... Oh, he's in the fancy part. 33, up and down, and the inside back, side to side, furthest measurement, you guys, always the furthest measurement. We got 32 plus 3, 35. Outside arms, up and down, got 15 plus 3, 18. Oops, side to side. We got 26 plus 3 is 29. And the outside back, we're not going to do the skirt today, you guys. Up and down, 29 plus 3, 32. Side to side, 25 plus 3, 28. And front panels. Let's turn the chair around. Six by 18. 18 by 6. That's an example where you could make the wrong measurements. You put the 6 here, the 18 here, and then end up with something that, if you have a flower or a stripe, won't work for those. And you get into a point where sometimes fabric is a little, you're starting to realize, like on this one here, when there I notice if the fabric is running, this is 54 inches. Club chairs oftentimes have what I call bad measurements, like this case here. So if you have a fabric that you can't railroad, this is going to eat up a lot of fabric. So the first thing I would do on the deck is no self-deck. Okay, the red flags are going up here. I would get. We have decking fabric in the industry we can use. That's going to save a yard of fabric right off the bat.
Gabrielle says hello.
Hey, Gabrielle. So and then I look to 29 even isn't a good measurement because it won't fit into a width. 28, well, you might be able to fit these. No, see, every one of these X, 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 and X is what I would call a bad measurement, meaning you can't get 2 out of a width. So the red flags would be really going up. So what I would be doing is measuring out my seat. I have 2 seats. I have a seat and a back cushion, which you're going to have a series of measurements coming down here, which hopefully, this is how you have to think. I mean, I don't have time to really go to put all the other measurements in there, but you would definitely need to couple these measurements with seat cushion measurements. It's really important. You're going to run out of fabric. If you just went away and cut these measurements like this, you might be in trouble. Now, if the fabric is railroaded, it looks much better railroaded. I mean, you could use self-deck it, the 28, you get 2 inside arms, even if, trust me, there's a little flex to these measurements. So I would go back and say, well, can I do it in 27? Yes, I can, 2 out of a width. That gets a check, right? This gets a check. We could couple these 2 together. This gets a check, because you could couple those 2 together. So see what I'm trying to do? So it really is, you have to be a little good at math, simple math, but there you have it. I think, Patrick, unless there's other questions are...
I think that's it.
I hope that what we're doing with the question and answer lately, Patrick, is that I think we're giving some really good information on these now. I mean, I hope that people look at these later and pick up this good information that they incorporate into their upholstery.
I'm sure they do. It's like watching a video. I mean,
right.
Especially when you do this kind of stuff. So.
Right. So we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. And Jimmy will be back.
Jimmy will be back with his Bigfoot hair fibers, right?
That would be interesting. Thanks, guys.